Greetings from Electrically. Welcome to lecture number 3 on DC machines. In previous lecture, we had a discussion on variable magnetic field with respect to space and with respect to time. And also we had discussed analogy between electric circuit and magnetic circuit. Now in lecture number 3, in this lecture, we are going to see the relation between B and H. The relation between magnetic flux density and magnetic field intensity. Okay, so give heading as relation between magnetic field density and magnetic field intensity. We know that the relation between, okay, remember the relation between magnetic field intensity and magnetic flux density is given by B is equal to mu H. Okay, what I said, B is equal to mu H, where B is magnetic flux density and H is magnetic field intensity, and mu and the value and the mu is, it is a permeability of magnetic material. Okay, it is what? Permeability of magnetic material or magnetic medium. Okay, this permeability means what? It is a permission to the flux lines. Okay, what I said, the meaning of permeability is nothing but what? It is nothing but a permission to the flux line, magnetic flux lines. Okay, more the permission, more will be the permeability. Lesser the permission, lesser will be the permeability. Okay, we know that permeability is equal to mu naught into mu r, where mu naught is permeability of free space or permeability of air. Okay, I hope you know it. Okay, because it is nothing but 11th and 12th science or physics. Okay, 11th 12th physics. Okay, the value of mu naught is what? 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7 Henry per meter. Its unit is Henry per meter and its value is 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7 Henry per meter. Okay, and this mu naught is permeability of free space or permeability of air. And we have one more term, mu r. It is what? It is relative permeability. Okay, mu r is what? Relative permeability. Okay, now in the name itself it is given relative. Relative means what? With respect to something, right? With respect to something means we have to take some reference in order to compare. Okay, for example, I am saying I have a magnetic material whose mu r value is 1000. Okay, if mu r is equal to 1000, then the meaning of this mu r is equal to 1000 means if my air is allowing one flux line, then my magnetic material whose value is 1000, whose value of mu r is 1000, then that material will allow how many flux lines? 1000 flux lines. So we are comparing our magnetic material with respect to air. Okay, always we will compare our magnetic material with respect to air. If my air is allowing one flux line, then my magnetic material will then my magnetic material whose mu r value is 1000, then that material will allow 1000 flux lines. Okay, so it means more permission to the flux. Air is allowing lesser flux lines. Okay, but my magnetic material having mu r value is equal to 1000, it is giving more permission to the flux lines. It means it is having more permeability. That magnetic material will be having more permeability as compared to air. So we will always compare our magnetic material with respect to air. Okay, this is the meaning of relative permeability. Okay, and mu naught value is 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7 Henry per meter. Okay, its unit is Henry per meter, but the relative permeability is unitless quantity. Okay, always remember relative permeability is a unitless quantity. There is no unit for mu r. Okay, but mu naught is Henry per meter. Okay, this is about mu naught and mu r. We will always compare our magnetic material with air itself. If I am having mu r is equal to 1, then we are comparing air with air. Okay, then we are comparing air with air. Okay, so we have this. So we have this equation, B is equal to mu H. Okay, B is equal to mu H. Remember this equation B is equal to mu H, it represents Ampere's circuital law. Okay, Ampere's circuital law. B is equal to mu H is B is equal to mu H represents what? Ampere's circuital law. From Ampere's circuital law we got B is equal to mu H. Okay, so we have B is equal to mu H. We know that the formula of B, magnetic flux density, is total amount of flux passing through unit cross section area of core material. Okay, and mu is mu naught into mu r into magnetic flux intensity is, magnetic field intensity is mmf upon length of core material. Total amount of mmf available across the unit length of core material, that is nothing but the meaning of electric flux intensity or electric field intensity. Okay, now after rearranging all this, what we will get? Flux is equal to mmf divided by length of core divided by mu naught mu r into area of core. Okay, this is very important. Okay, this is very important. Now compare this equation 1 with flux is equal to mmf by reluctance. Okay, this is nothing but Ohm's law for magnetic circuit. Flux is equal to mmf by reluctance. This is equation 2. Now compare 1 and 2. What we will get? Flux, okay, this is flux, mmf, this is mmf, and in place of reluctance we have this quantity, right? That is nothing but, so the formula for reluctance is what? Formula for reluctance is length of core divided by mu into area of core material. Okay, this is the basic formula for reluctance. Okay, don't get confused between reluctance and resistance. Resistance is rho L by A, where rho is what? Where rho is resistivity of the conductor. Okay, and this reluctance is what? Length of core upon mu into area of core. Okay, its unit is Henry inverse or ampere turns per Weber. Okay, remember the units. Okay, so we can see here, tell me one thing, for our machine, for our electric machine, we will always choose our magnetic material which will be having less reluctance or more reluctance. First of all, tell me the definition of reluctance. It is a physical property of a core material which will oppose the flow of flux. Okay, which will oppose the flow of flux. Okay, so we will require the core material which will be having less reluctance or more reluctance. Obviously less reluctance, right? Obviously less reluctance. So we can see here, in order to get the core material having less reluctance, its permeability should be highest. If permeability is high, then its reluctance will be low, right? If permeability is low, then its reluctance will be high. Reluctance means what? Reluctance, it is opposition to the flow of flux, right? So we will always choose a material, magnetic material, whose reluctance will be less. And in order to achieve less reluctance of material, we will always choose a material whose permeability will be higher. Okay, अगर permeability अगर high रहेगी तो उसका reluctance क्या रहेगा? कम रहेगा. So we can establish more amount of flux. Okay, so we can establish more amount of flux. Okay, so this is the conclusion we can draw from this discussion, that the reluctance should be as low as possible in order to establish higher flux. Okay, so what I said, the reluctance of magnetic material should be as low as possible to create more amount of flux, to create more amount of magnetic field or magnetic flux. Okay, so we will always choose our material which will be having higher permeability value. Okay, we will select the material, the magnetic material whose permeability mu value is higher. Okay, for example, in our transformer or any electrical machine, we will use steel material, right? We will use steel material, okay, because steel is a good conductor of magnetism. Okay, it is having good magnetic property. Okay, but in addition to magnetic property, it is also having a good conductivity. Okay, but our main requirement is our core material should be having only good magnetic property. It should not have good conductivity property. Why? Because conductivity is because of conductivity, what will happen? An EMF will be induced across that conductor because it is electrical quantity. Conductivity is always with respect to electrical. Okay, अगर उसकी कंडक्टिविटी ज़्यादा होगी तो उसमें क्या होगा? EMF इंड्यूस होगा, है ना? EMF अगर इंड्यूस हुआ तो उसमें क्या फ्लो होगा? करंट फ्लो होगा. दैट दोस करंट वी कॉल एट सर्कुलेटिंग करंट. Okay, those currents we call as circulating current and that current is called as eddy current. Okay, अगर हमारा हमने क्या सिलेक्ट किए? हमने स्टील सिलेक्ट किए, बट स्टील की मैग्नेटिक प्रॉपर्टी भी है, बट उसके साथ साथ क्या है? कंडक्टिविटी भी है. बट वी वॉन्ट ओनली मैग्नेटिक प्रॉपर्टी, गुड मैग्नेटिक प्रॉपर्टी. वी डोंट वॉन्ट और वी डोंट नीड कंडक्टिविटी फॉर मैग्नेटिक मटेरियल. अगर कंडक्टिविटी ज़्यादा है उसमें तो क्या होगा? उसमें एडी करंट फ्लो होगा, है ना? सो इट विल क्रिएट मोर आयरन लॉसेस और एडी करंट लॉसेस, right? It will create more eddy current losses. Now in order to decrease its conductivity, in order to decrease the eddy current losses, what we will do? We will add silicon inside the steel in order to decrease the conductivity and increase the resistivity for the eddy currents. अगर resistivity अगर वो ज़्यादा फील कर रहा है, एडी करंट अगर ज़्यादा फील कर रहा है तो वो क्या होगा? उसका मैग्नीट्यूड कम हो जाएगा. बट रिमेंबर, वी ऑलवेज add 3 to 4%, only 3 to 4% of silicon inside a steel material. Silicon is nothing but an agent. It's an agent which we are adding inside a steel material in order to decrease the eddy current losses. And if we want to further decrease the eddy current losses, what we will use? We will use laminations. Thin laminations, thick laminations. Okay, where to use thin laminations, where to use thick laminations. Okay, that we will study in construction part of transformer. We have separate topic or separate subject for transformer. There we will discuss all these things. What are iron losses, what are hysteresis losses, thin laminations, thick laminations, right? All these concepts we are going to study in transformer topic. Okay, so always remember, reluctance of the core material should be as low as possible. Okay, and the core material should be made with high permeability material. For example, steel, we are adding a silicon inside a steel, that's why we are calling it as silicon steel. Okay, it's a silicon steel because its permeability is higher. Okay, so this was about the discussion on permeability, right, and then reluctance. Okay, now we will discuss the calculation of reluctance. The calculation of reluctance from exam point of view, this topic is very much important. Okay, for a rectangular core, what will be the reluctance of this rectangular core? For the circular core material, what will be the reluctance of this circular core material? All this we are going to see with the help of some numericals. Okay, now give heading as calculation of reluctance. Calculation of reluctance. Okay, we know that the formula for reluctance is length of core divided by mu into area of core material. Okay, our main focus in question, these quantities will be given, okay, but this length of core is not given directly. We need to find first length of core. Now how to find the length of core? This is nothing but what? Mean length. I have already told you this L is nothing but what? Mean length. Okay, now what is mean length? See here. For example, we have rectangular core, right? Its outer length is 10 centimeter and inner length is 9 centimeter. Okay, now for reluctance calculation, what we will do, we need to select a mean length. Mean length means what? It will be the average of 10 centimeter and 9 centimeter. Okay, it will be the average of what is the length of core, or sorry, not a length of core, it's a mean length. Mean length will be mean length is equal to 10 plus 9 divided by 2 is equal to 9.5. Okay, so the mean length, okay, the mean length is 9.5 centimeter, but we want a total length, okay, of this core material, of this rectangular core. So for this we will find what? We will find perimeter of this rectangle. Okay, we will find what? Perimeter of this rectangle, and the perimeter of this rectangle is nothing but what? Our length of core. Okay, perimeter of rectangle is equal to our length of core material. Okay, for this example. Now if I have circular core material, for example this, okay, fine. Now the diameter, the inner diameter is how much? For example, inner diameter is 100 centimeter. Okay, and outer diameter is how much? 110 centimeter. Okay, it is 110 centimeter. Now here also we need to find the mean length. Okay, now the mean length will be how much? Mean length is equal to 110 plus 100 divided by 2 is nothing but 105 centimeter. This is nothing but the mean diameter or mean length. It is not a mean length, it's a mean diameter. Okay, now in order to find the length of core, length of this circular core, what we will find? We will find the perimeter of a circle. Okay, we will find a perimeter of a circle. So for circular core, perimeter of circle is equal to length of core. Now the perimeter of circle is how much? Pi d or 2 pi r. Okay, pi d or 2 pi r. So length of core is equal to 2 pi. See here, our mean length or mean diameter is how much? This is mean diameter, 105 centimeter. It's a diameter. Okay, but we want radius. Okay, now take half of this 105, we will get 52.5. Okay, 52.5. Right. Okay, 52.5 centimeter. This will be our length of core material. And here the perimeter of rectangle is how much? 2 into length plus width. So this is how we calculate the length of core for circular core or for rectangular core. Okay, for reluctance calculation we will always calculate mean length or mean diameter. Okay, so with this basics, let's take a numerical. Okay, let's take a numerical question. For example, determine the amount of flux. Determine the amount of flux passing through the core material having mu r is equal to 1200 and cross section area of core is 1 centimeter square. Okay, now the circular core is given, right? Circular core is given, then number of turns are given, mean diameter is given 10 centimeter, then current flowing through winding is given. Okay, now we need to find what? We need to find, determine the flux. Okay, flux we need to find. Okay, we know that flux is equal to mmf by reluctance. mmf can be written as n into I by reluctance. Okay, now number of turns are given, right? 1500 turns. Number of turns is given, current is also given, this current is also given, but is reluctance is given? No, we need to find the reluctance. Okay, we need to find first reluctance in order to calculate flux. Okay, we know that reluctance is equal to length of core divided by mu naught into mu r into area of core. Now length of core, I already told you, we need to take the mean length. Mean length means what? Perimeter of the circle. Okay, what is the perimeter of circle? 2 pi r. Okay, it is nothing but 2 pi r divided by mu naught into mu r into area of core. Now when we calculate this, we will get 2 pi into mean diameter is 10 centimeter, then we will take 5 centimeter. But we all want our units in meters. Okay, so into 5 into 10 to the power minus 2. Okay, because we want length in meter. Then mu naught value is 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7 into mu r value is 1200 into area of core is given as 1 centimeter square. Okay, area is given as 1 centimeter square, but we want it in 1 meter square. Okay, so it will be 1 into 10 to the power minus 4. Okay, 1 into 10 to the power minus 4. Now after calculation, we will get reluctance value as 2.08 into 10 to the power 6 Henry inverse. Okay, 10 to the power 6 Henry inverse. Now this is the value of reluctance. Okay, this is the value of reluctance. Now we know that flux is equal to mmf by reluctance. mmf is number of turns are given 500 into 10. Okay, divided by reluctance value is 2.08 into 10 to the power 6. So the value of flux we will get as 7.21 milliweber. This is our answer, because they are asking to calculate the flux, the total amount of flux passing through the following core material having mu r is equal to 1200 and cross section area of core material as 1 centimeter square. Always remember, convert the centimeter into meter. Okay, if it is length, multiply that quantity with 10 to the power minus 2, and if it is area, multiply that quantity with 10 to the power minus 4. Okay, this is how we calculate the total flux. Okay, now second numerical is what they are asking. They are asking about calculate the flux density B. They are asking about calculate the flux density B at which this core is being operated. First, let's see what is given. Okay, so this is mean length is given. Okay, and mean width is given. Okay, then area of core material is given in centimeter, then mu r value is given, then I is given, and number of turns are given. Okay, and they are asking us to calculate B. B is what? Flux upon area of core. But is flux is given? Is flux is given? No, flux is not given. So first we need to find flux. Okay, we know that flux is equal to mmf by reluctance. mmf is nothing but number of turns into current by reluctance. Okay, now number of turns are given. Okay, number of turns are given, then current flowing through winding is also given, but reluctance is not given. So first we need to find reluctance. Okay, we know that reluctance is equal to length of core divided by mu into area of core. Now how to calculate the length of core? Length of core is nothing but what? Perimeter of given core material. Perimeter is nothing but what? Perimeter of this rectangle. Okay, now the perimeter of this rectangle, perimeter is equal to 2 into length plus width. Okay, 2 into length is how much? Mean length is 10 centimeter. Okay, plus 5 centimeter. Okay, but we want all our calculations in meters, so we will convert centimeter into meters. That's why we will multiply it with 10 to the power minus 2. Okay, so this is nothing but the perimeter or length of core is equal to length of core. Okay, now we got length of core and we have value of mu, and area of core material is also given. Therefore the reluctance is equal to 2 into 10 plus 5 into 10 to the power minus 2 divided by mu naught 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7 into mu r value. Mu r value is given as 1000. Okay, it is given 1000 into area of core. Area of core is given as 2 centimeter square and we want it in meter square. So 2 into 10 to the power minus 4 meter square. So after calculation we will get value of reluctance as 1.19 into 10 to the power minus 6. Okay, 1.19 into 10 to the power minus 6 Henry inverse or ampere turns per Weber. Okay, this is the value of reluctance. Okay, but in question what he is asking, they are asking about to calculate flux density. Okay, they are asking about to calculate flux density, this B. So we have value of okay, we need to first calculate flux. Okay, flux is equal to mmf, number of turns into current divided by reluctance. Number of turns are 1000. Okay, number of turns are 1000 into current is 20 ampere divided by reluctance as 1.19 into 10 to the power minus 6. We will get flux value as 16.87 milliweber. Okay, 16.87 milliweber flux is getting established into our rectangular core material. Okay, now we have value of flux and we have value of area of core, so we can calculate flux density. Flux density is equal to flux upon area of core, 16.87 milliweber. 16.87 milliweber means 10 to the power minus 3. Okay, and area of core is given as 2 centimeter square. Okay, so 2 into 10 to the power minus 4. Okay, so we will get the value of B is equal to 84.3 Weber per meter square. Okay, this is how we get value of B. Okay, so listen again. Here we need to calculate in this numerical. We needed to calculate flux density B. Okay, but flux density B is nothing but flux upon area of core. In this, flux is not given. Okay, flux is not given, so first we calculated flux with the help of mmf by reluctance formula. But in case but in this also reluctance was not given. First we calculated reluctance, then from the reluctance value we calculated flux, then from the flux value we calculated the flux density. Okay, this is nothing but the final answer of this numerical. Okay, so I hope you are understanding the concept of reluctance, what is relative permeability, and based on this calculation how to calculate the reluctance of a material, how to calculate the flux of this flux which is established inside the core material, and flux density. Okay, so with this note I will conclude the lecture here. Thank you.